So I saw Spider-Man Homecoming and it was really good. And I have a cold and I just took NyQuil and it's gonna be interesting. There was one aspect of it that was really cute, but kind of weird for a superhero movie. This world was very friendly. It's very soft and friendly. Peter goes to like a science school, like a prep school. There's definitely a word for this kind of school that I should have Googled. So that's a good explanation for why Peter has all this access to good lab equipment to make his web stuff. It also means that Peter's still a nerdy kid, but now he's in like a school of all nerdy kids. So Flash Thompson makes fun of Peter, but he doesn't like physically bully him. Like he doesn't get pushed into lockers or tripped in the cafeteria or anything. Flash is one of the nerdy kids too. He's on the academic decathlon team with Peter. And he really only has one lame insult for Peter. He just uses it over and over, and Peter seems to have kind of just like an eye-rolly reaction to it, like it's not cutting that deep or anything. You get the impression that Flash is kind of a dweeb too, especially like his lame DJing at the party. So high school's not like a hostile environment for Peter. He has his best friend to keep him grounded, and they kind of together like lament that they're not cool kids, but they still have each other to hang out with, and they do get invited to a cool kid party by the popular girl that Peter has a crush on. Peter abandons Ned at the party because of Spider-Man, but by this point Ned already knows about Spider-Man, so they don't get in like a fight about it or anything. There isn't even like a scene where Peter doesn't have friends. Peter isn't invisible to the pretty girl. She thinks he's cute, and she goes to homecoming with him. Peter stops at a bodega, and the shop owner's like kind of gruff, but ultimately he's friendly and he likes Peter. Everybody on the streets thinks Spider-Man is cool. Maybe they don't respect him, but they like him and they cheer for him when he goes by. There's never that moment where like the public turns on Spider-Man, like there's too much bad press and they hate him now. We never have a thing where like the authorities are out to stop him from interfering. And this is post-Avengers, so since he has the support of Iron Man, I don't think we're really going to see that happen in this universe at all. At the very end, oh, spoilers by the way, at the very end, the bad guy is in jail, and even he won't give up Spider-Man's true identity because he likes him at that point. The bad guy is a good guy too. He's just kind of conflicted. It's carrying on a Spider-Man tradition. So like halfway through the movie, I realized what this universe reminded me of. And it was the Nickelodeon cartoon Hey Arnold. Like, look, okay, it's set in New York, but like a friendly, sweet version of New York, like in a cartoon. It feels very small and explorable like any other neighborhood in a kid's show. In Hey Arnold, parts of the city are drawn to look dirty and have really dark color schemes, but even then, all the characters in them are like colorful and quirky, and even if it's like a crazy homeless person character, it's like a friendly, harmless, crazy homeless person character. Most of the characters are strange, but they're almost always friendly. But like, okay, here's where the Spider-Man similarities really start. Get ready. You have the well-mannered, tech-savvy boy living with his extended family. There are like the designated stereotype popular kids and the bully, but whenever you see the characters hanging out as a group, you realize they're all kind of just in the same friend group. Like, they're all cool with each other. They all seem to get along okay. The bullying seems kind of half-hearted and doesn't really hurt the main character's feelings or anything. You have the unkempt, prickly girl who seems super interested in the main character but keeps saying like bitter, snippy things about how she's totally not. What really drove this home for me was when they kept having Flash Thompson call Peter football head, and how they cast an actor with a football-shaped head. So like this comparison is meant as a compliment. Hey Arnold is actually my favorite cartoon series ever. Is anyone else excited for the Jungle movie? It's coming back. I'm excited. I really like in kids media when they have these soft, friendly universes. And Spider-Man is the youngest hero in this universe so far, so presumably he's supposed to draw the youngest crowd. So yeah, so I think it's kind of nice to tell kids not to expect high school and the entire world to be mean and scary and hostile. I think an empathetic supporting cast is good in a superhero movie too. When you love Peter's city and the people in it, you're more invested in watching him save them because you like them and they're not just like a faceless mass to you. The thing is though, I'm gonna point to Sam Raimi Spider-Man for a second. That whole trilogy was a big angst fest, and Peter's New York wasn't a very friendly place. There's a mean high school bully who beats Peter up. Peter's boss is mean and yells at him. Peter has a best friend, Harry Osborn, but even his best friend inexplicably seems to think he's an embarrassing loser and puts him down all the time. Peter has a crummy landlord who doesn't fix anything when he needs him to. The police want to arrest Peter for interfering. They're always chasing him down and treating him like a criminal. It's kind of like that line in the theme song where they say wealth and fame he's ignored. Action is his reward. Even the public at large is always fluctuating between throwing parades for Spider-Man and viciously hating Spider-Man. This sounds like a total downer, because it is, but it really gives you a sense of Peter's resilience and strength of character. It's kind of the whole point of Spider-Man. When Peter doesn't help the wrestling manager that tries to rip him off, the thief runs away and then kills his Uncle Ben. And the moral is, sometimes you gotta help people, Peter. Not just when you think they deserve it, but all the time, because it's the right thing to do. So that becomes like his driving motivation, is that just no matter what, he wants to save and help people. And you like him for that. So it makes sense for Spider-Man to be the hero with the crummy life that gets kicked down all the time, because it just highlights his sense of selflessness and justice. Go away. Oh my god. Why did I do that? And Peter's commitment to this is highlighted by these little moments where characters that you thought were mean do good things to show you the inherent goodness of man, I assume. J. Jonah Jameson always yells at Peter, but when the Green Goblin breaks into his office, he refuses to give Peter up as the photographer of Spider-Man. The public all hate Spider-Man when they read about him in the papers, but then on the bridge, when the Green Goblin's getting him, they all start throwing stuff to try to help him. When Peter turns into Black Suit Spider-Man and his jerk landlord sees how he's acting, instead of being mad, he tells his daughter how he's worried about Peter, because he knows he's a good kid. Harry Osborn spends a whole movie arguing with Peter, and then he sacrifices his life for him. So I think having all that drama in Peter's life just makes those moments a little more meaningful. Raimi's Spider-Man world is hard and mean sometimes. Peter is constantly being given reason to doubt the goodness of people, and his villains are examples of the people who just give in to the temptation to think badly of everyone. Peter resists, and he keeps fighting, and then they have those little moments throughout the movies to reinforce to the audience that Peter is the one who's right. And I think that that is also a pretty optimistic message for kids. Homecoming was really, really good, and I really liked it. But I do think it's easier to earn that goodwill from an audience when your movie's basically a comedy and it's just jokes and friendliness the whole time. And I can't really compare it to Raimi Spider-Man because they're both really good, and they're basically totally different genres. But Raimi Spider-Man is better, though. And look at The Amazing Spider-Man. That movie had very few scenes where Peter interacted with anybody but his girlfriend, including his aunt and uncle, and it was bad. I couldn't think of anything nice to say about the Amazing Spider-Man series. I guess I won't use that example then.